Alright, so the last time I posted, I was going through the clutch. Well, ended up getting that all put back together. Sorry I didn't get to video that. I had a little help that day out in the garage, so it was kind of loud and didn't really make good for videoing. But whenever I was putting back on the front clutch with the rollers, just make sure there's a little key that the aerator sits on. So you got to get that key in the right spot, and then make sure it hits into the groove or whatever. So you'll know if you get it or not, because once you put it on there, if you try to roll it, the whole thing should roll if you got on the key. If not, I don't think it'll happen. Luckily I got it on there first time, so yeah, got that all put back together. New clutch cover, gasket, new dowel pins, threw those on there, and then I also got a stainless steel bolt kit from Alloy Boltz to put back the clutch cover on, and the starter recoil cover. So got all that put on. I did test it slightly, and it did fine. I'm not done putting it together. Ran into a few little snags, which I'll say in a second. But after we got that put back together, while my dad was here to help hold stuff, hold and torque down and put all that stuff together, it's kind of hard to do it with just two hands. So that's what we did in one day. Put on wheel spacers, so you can kind of see them. They add 5 inches total width. So put those on to the OEM hubs on the front and the back. Show you the front real quick. Too, bud. See, there's the fronts. So it made it wider, a lot safer, easier to turn, handle. Of course, that's what a lot of people do to even the bigger quads. New AC Racing front bumper as well. Definitely protrudes further and wider than the stock one, so that's kind of nice. I know I made a video about the chain and sprockets and the chain tensioner, so can't wait to test that out. Did get the rear guard on, and then the skid plate down there that fits as well. Put that on. So far so good. I would have it all together and ready to roll, but the nerf bars I bought in conjunction with the AC Racing, where the foot peg is on one side, is stripped out. So I had to order a tap and die set because I didn't have one. And then I also had to go search for some different bolts at the hardware store, because the ones that they sent to go with the nerf bars were a little short. I mean they work, but they're shorter. And so I was like, man, I'm just gonna get some longer ones. And then the OEM bolts that go here to put the pegs on, one side is fine. I think it's this one. You can use the OEM ones there. But then the OEM one that came right here, that's also where you're attaching your nerfs. So the AC Racing nerfs attach here and then here. And it only comes, they only send 2 bolts to attach to the pegs. And then they leave you with the OEM one to put the nerf into the peg, into the frame, which is, it's very short. So I ended up having to go search for another one of those, a longer bolt with the same thread pitch. So if you ever do that, I suggest, this one's fine because it's just putting back the way it was. And if you want the if you get the AC Racing nerfs, then I suggest getting a longer bolt to attach those to the front on both sides, and then even a longer bolt than what AC Racing sent, especially if you want to use the rear fender bracket mounts. You don't have to. You could delete this part and just run the nerfs, or you can run the OEM like bracket that comes here. But if you do, I suggest getting the longer bolts, because then you're attaching two things right here with the shorter bolts they send. So that's my 2 cents.
Daddy,
Just wait, buddy. Okay. So that's what I've done to it. Got it put back together. I did ride it around like this, just to see if everything worked. Worked fine. So haven't fully tested it. So we'll see what happens when I get it all put back together. I also put in new steering stem bushings. So a lot smoother now. And then the one challenge I did have is, and that may just be my particular quad here, is the rims. We had to kind of drill out and widen the diameter of the holes to be able to put the rims on the spacers, which the spacers are supposed to be equivalent to the OEM hubs. So I actually had to do that to all 4 rims. I mean, we had just drilled out, shaved off a little bit, still a little tight fit. So I don't know if that's my rims, because the previous user kind of did F them up a little bit. So who knows. But anywho, that's the update on the KFX 80. Almost got her put back together, and now literally I think the only thing I haven't done to this since I've bought it is freshen up the top end, because it doesn't need it right now. So I've done about everything else, or additions to make it more friendly. You know, rebuilt the carb, added the light, different handlebars that brought them up a little higher. I did have to replace all the brake stuff right here, the front brakes, because they were all rusted and whatnot, so I just did that anyways. Worked out better. Let's see, yeah, bumper, chain sprockets, clutch, new, I did have to do a few things that if yours wasn't messed up like this one, you wouldn't have to do. I mean, it did come with the DG pipe, so that was nice. I put new brakes on there when I first got it. So there's some things here and there. Should be ready to roll now though, once I get it all put back together. So that's the KFX 80 updates.